Last week, there was just a question that was asked during the chat about what does an employee see when they first log into the new Definitiv with the Evo turned on. So what I thought I'd just show you is, I am an administrator for this one, so you do see a few things up here, but it just looks the same. So when I land, everything looks exactly the same. I have my details, I can add my timesheet, leave, payslip, and when I click on my details, I can see all of my information as I normally would. Obviously, you might not have all this turned on for your employees to see, but basically the login to Definitiv should look exactly the same for them, except they have the access button here at the top. So just thought I'd just take a few minutes just to show you that really visually there's nothing that's different within the Definitiv system itself apart from that there. So the employee experience once they log in for the first time should be exactly the same. All right, so I'll jump into analytics for you. So how we do that is we just come in and we click on the access button and there's the products there and you can just click on analytics. And I've already had one open this morning, so I'll just jump in there. So I've worked in payroll for a long time. So what I try and do when I do these demos is bring in a few real life experiences along the way. So when I start my day, what I used to always do is open up my email and open up my payroll. And in the morning, I would go through and see if any requests had come through for, special reports or things like that. So then what I've actually started challenging myself to do is, can I get that out of Evo? And the reason I try and get it out of Evo is because Evo is quite quick when we do our downloads and things, which we will go through now. So that's just a challenge for you. When you get it, just start thinking, can I get this information faster from Evo? Or, is there a different way of doing things? So I'll get started on, now when I come into Evo, I normally start here on Insights and I work my way through each of these areas here. Data views is actually empty. Now, data views is where the software team are working and they're pulling the information together for you. So we don't, as a user, we don't see anything in there. What the insights are is where we've got information on our employees. So I'll just come in and I'll give you an example of one. And there's a lot in here, by the way. You can see there's a lot here. So you can use filtering as well. So if I'm looking at company overview, Definitiv, I can just click on those and it will shorten that for me. But just to see what's in them, if you click on here, it will open up, this one's a column chart and it's showing us the headcount by location. So everything that comes up in this screen, you can download just by clicking this button here. So if you need to send something off to a manager, you can just come in here and there it is there. You've got it, you can send it to them. It's very fast. But what it also gives us is the ability to drill down. So if I want to look at who's in Tasmania, I can just click on the Tasmania column and you'll see here it pops up with a drill down. So when I drill down, it then opens up into a format that you can then download and it will open in Excel. And again, very quick and easy. There it is. So that's why I started challenging myself to use Evo, because when you download, information is really quite quick and fast and at your fingertips. I'll just get rid of that one. Okay, one other thing that you can have, now not all of you have this and that's okay, but within your Definitiv, some of you might have more than one organisation. So I've got two. I've got our Definitiv demo and I've got the Access group. So I have two payrolls running in here. So when I run out any of my dashboards and insights, it's giving me both in one report. Okay, so that's something else that might be faster for you once you start using this product. Okay, so that's just a little bit there on insights, but we do have a lot of different formats for our insights. So we've got column, we've got metric, we've got pie charts. And this one's quite good. So if you want to have a look at your leave, oh, of course that one decided it doesn't want to work today. We look at gender. There we go. So here we've got a breakdown of gender. And again, you can click on these and you can show data as well. So it gives you a count of the gender And just to go back, you just click on the little arrow and return back. And if you just want one at a time, you just click one at a time. And once you click them, again, you do have the option here to drill down. So now you've got a list of all of your female employees and what their primary role is. Okay. The last insight I want to show you is these ones down here in tables. I find tables quite useful, and this one here in particular. This table, it's actually showing us all of the payrolls processed since you started working in Definitiv for every employee and every pay period. And it literally is that quick. I've got something like 4,000 pages here, I think, if I just click over to the end. Oh, 5,000. So there's a lot of data in here going all the way back to when we started. It's basically the pay runs Excel spreadsheet, but without applying any filters or date range. And from here, again, download. And there it is. And you would have a full pay runs report in Excel just in a matter of seconds. And obviously, once you've got an Excel, you can filter and do whatever you like with it. Up the top here, you actually have a filter as well. So when you click on the filter, you can then filter. So if you are only interested in a pay run, you can come in here and pick a pay run. Or if you're doing an analysis on an employee, you can come in and just pick that one employee. Sorry, bumped the wrong button there. We just click apply. So there you go. You can see everything for that employee. You can also come down and have a look at your GL types as well. So if you just want all expenses and liabilities and on costs, if it's been a published payroll or its current status will say not published if it's still open. There's a lot of availability there with your filters. So Insights is an area where you've got access to a lot of information. There are a lot in there, so we just suggest take your time, sit down with your morning cuppa, go through and click a few things and just get a feel for it once you've got access to it. The next major area is our dashboards. Now, at the moment, Sarah has given us two dashboards. One is about your employee and the other is about your workforce management. So we'll just go through and have a quick look at the employee record for a moment, and then we'll go in and have a look at the workforce. Now, Sarah's developing more dashboards to come along over the next 12 months to add to this. So this is just getting us started. This one here is probably my favorite dashboard. And when you open it, you go, why? It looks empty. Okay, what we always need to do when we're using this one is click on the filter because it's driven by an employee at a time. So I'll just come in here and select an employee. So what I'll do is I'll just pick on Charlie. So when we actually select a filter, you do need to click on apply down the bottom. Now what's happening here is it's pulling through some information about Charlie. It's telling us what their employee number is, hired date, age, years of service, their primary departments and roles, location project, and it's going to give us information about their pay. So straight away, this is the bit that I love about this screen. So if an employee writes in and says, I've got a question about my pay, something doesn't look right, straight away, because Charlie is a full-time employee, gets paid the same thing. If this screen looked different, it would then go, oh, that is unusual. Let me go and look further. And by looking further, we can just come down here and you can see that we have all of the pays down here for Charlie since they first started work with us. Again, you have the filter then to go, well, I'd like to look at a particular pay run. Okay, and you just click on it and apply, and that will change that down there. The other thing, if Charlie had a question about his pay, he was unsure about something, had he been paid this in the past or something, they can come in here. You can just download this, have a look at his entire pay history in one spreadsheet. Another common question we get asked in payroll all the time is, I don't believe my leave balance is right. I don't think I've taken all that leave. So again, if you want to click on here, you can drill down we can come in and we can actually toggle the size. So this is a bit hard to read sometimes when you've been, someone's got a lot of information. You can toggle it out and make it full screen. And then you can download again. And you can send that to Charlie and say, please have a review of your leave that you've taken. And then, he can come back to you if he's got any questions. So it is really quick and easy to use. Obviously, if you want more than one column, you just click on both columns. And then you can drill down and give a full leave history. So this one here, honestly, I do love it. I go on and on about it, so I'll try not to today. We'll just show you a few other employees. So Charlie obviously is full-time. Let's have a look at another employee. Okay, so we're looking at Sally now. So with Sally, I can see that Sally is full-time as well, and she's part-time, and she's paid the same thing, pay by pay, and it's nice and graphical there. But what I can also see that's different is Sally has got a few deductions coming out of her pay. So we can see those, we can see when they commenced and when they ceased from this screen as well. Again, you've got leave and you've got her full pay history down the bottom there. So we call these widgets. So each one of these is a different widget and they've all got a name along the top. And what you'll find when you look at insights is you'll find these insights match to the widget names. So I'll just have a look at an employee that does have a variance in their pay. I'll just find a casual. So here's a casual employee, and that would make sense. So again, graphically, you'd go, yes, they work different hours. If I was looking at this as a casual and it was actually static, they were getting the same thing, it might raise the question for your people team to go, are they a real casual? So again, this graphical view per employee does bring insights to you. It shows you right up front, oh, do I need to look at this employee? Is there something happening with that employee that I need to drill down on? So that's the employee record. Most of your payroll people on the call, so I will say it, I use this screen, I move it across onto my other screen, and then I go into here if I'm doing redundancy calculations. It has most of the information I need to actually work out. I've got the state, their age, how many years of service. It just gives me that, high level information so I can start the calculation without having to drill down further. The other dashboard that's in here, we've written this to help with your company work management. Okay, so what we've got here is active number of employees. This information up the top here stays quite static. But again, for your people team, they might look at this and go, oh, I didn't realise our average age was creeping up, or our average years of service was so high or so low. So these are things that they can look at just a glance to give them some information about their business. But what you can also do is use filtering. And this is where the filtering, I think, really comes to life on this dashboard. So what I mean is I've come in here, I would like to just gender. Say, okay, I'd like to just look at females in my organisation. Just by turning that on and going, okay, what happens is it filters all of these down to show me exactly what I'm looking at for females only. So I can go females, I've got 69 part-time, 91 full-time. And you get a really good feel for your employees. You can also see what their roles are and what projects they're on. And each one of these you can drill down further. So if I want to look further into here, I can just drill down and say, these are the female employees working in full-time that are bookkeepers. Now the filtering, I'll just clear it and we'll go into a few others just to give you some examples. So if I'm just looking at department, if I want to look at who's in management, I click on that and go apply. And again, it's going to tell me that I have 16 active employees in management. The average age, years of service, they're all in one organisation, not spread across two. And again, I can see my gender, employment type, and where their locations are. So these sort of things can become really helpful. You might find that you've got a role that's you might need people in each location. So if I was to then just come out and go clear all, so if I want to look at location, and let's just say I want to look at New South Wales and I would like to look at a specific role. So let's just say we need to make sure that we have got a technician. I can come in here and go, oh, we do have one. But again, you might start, as you start playing around with filters and starting to ask questions, and this is what the whole purpose is, to ask you questions like, what do I need to know? How do I need to check my workforce management? So the idea is you just keep drilling down and you can say, well, really, we shouldn't have one person only in this role per state. We might need two. So it can help you with resourcing and starting to think about your business in a different way. So that's what our workforce management is. And again, all of these are designed that you can drill down and you can pop them into Excel, and you can do, reporting to your management team regularly straight from this system, or you can give your senior leadership access to this information and they can come in and search for it anytime they like. The last area I was going to show you today is actually in Copilot Data. So this is more just to get you thinking about how you can ask questions of Copilot, and I will go into this in more detail next week. But I just want to show you how it works at the moment. So in here, we have got these tables that we have put payroll information into that you can ask questions in Copilot and it will give you results. So we'll just come down and have a look at this one. They are quite busy, but what it's giving us is our headings. So if I'm looking for something in Copilot on a pay item, I can come in here and say, pay item description, give me this information. So we'll just have a go at it, okay? So we're looking here at payroll accrual, and here we've got amounts. So let's just jump into Copilot while we've got one of these open. Now with Copilot, I do pick a skill. So down here it says pick a skill. You don't have to pick a skill, but when I want a really detailed response, and everything to do with our payroll is in analytics, so I still click on analytics. It just helps, it gives me a detailed answer. So I'll just type this question in. So what I'm going to ask it is to provide me with a listing of all pay item descriptions. So that's what I'm looking at there. Pay item description equal to payroll tax. And I'm going to say for payroll number 67. And I'm going to ask it to include the full name and the total. This question actually came up in the payroll team this week, where a customer wanted to have the accruals for payroll tax going all the way back from when they started with us. And you can do that. So that's how quick that was to get the payroll tax. When there's more than 15 rows, you do get this button down here that you can click on that will open it up into an analytics screen. And then you can see everyone and you can also download that result into Excel. So that's how we've been using our Copilot data. We can come in here and we can collect information. We know what fields we want, and then we can start writing questions, and you can get quite complex in your questions. And I know we're very close to running out of time, so I just want to show you one more thing before we move on. And when you get your Evo, you'll have a welcome and a My Dashboard. With the My Dashboard, you can customize this to anything you like. So I've got some tasks on here and some activities, but what I've also populated over here is a couple of my insights. And how we do that is we just click on Add App over here. So if you've got an insight you need to see regularly, what you would just do is come in and add it to your space, and it's just doing that now, and close. It'll be popping it down the bottom. So then it's given me this here. So now what I can do is come down here and say, okay, I'd like to actually see my pie headcount by gender, and I'd like to see that on my screen all the time. So I can bring that up the top here. And there it is. Now, if you wanted to, the beauty of having these is you'll see over here we've got the filter. So if I would just like to see annual leave only all the time, I can filter that, and that filter setting will stay on my screen when I come back in. So you don't have to use the filters through analytics. If you're doing this one all the time, you can save that in there as your favorite settings. So that's where I was going to leave you today. Next week, we jump into Copilot in a lot of detail.